pretty tricky time getting them back. So you always want to double and triple check to make sure you got the right bands on the right birds. So, first things first, we're going to put the band on. So right leg first. Close it up, turn it, and close it there we go. Close it the other way. And I'm holding the foot because obviously I have its leg pinched in some pliers, and if it kicks when I'm doing that and I'm not holding the foot, it could hurt its leg. So again, no gap in that band. It can rotate freely, and it can't go over the ankle or the knee. So then we're going to get the color bands on. So we've got purple on the right side over the aluminum. And we've got red and red on the other side. So again, the reason why we're putting these color bands on is because this way, if you see a wren with bands on it, you'll be able to tell instantly just by looking at the bands that this is different than the wren that we just banded that got yellow, green, and pink. And whenever you do see this, you can report it into the Natural History Society, or you can report it into Baltimore Food Parks, so we can get the data in with the data set. So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to take wing measurements. So 60 exactly, which should be really good. And tail measurements, 50 exactly, which is a little less good. Now we're going to age this bird. So this is a good bird that you can see a lot of molt on. So you can see all these little feathers in those shafts. Those are called pins that the bird is growing in, and some of them have erupted. We have what looks like is going to be a symmetrical molt under the wings. Yep, so all the same feathers are molting in and out. We have a very ratty looking tail, so this tail hasn't quite changed yet. And we have some feathers molting on the head. A bunch of them right there. All of those feathers on the belly are growing in. So, let's look at the quality of these feathers on the wing to see if this is a young bird molting into its first definitive plumage or an older bird. So these all look pretty tightly knit and pretty wide and rounded. On a younger bird, they would be a lot pointier and the barbs would be more spaced apart. So I'm going to call this a older bird. And you can see there's not really much difference in feather quality between these feathers up here. So I'm going to call this an older bird. It's a little hard to tell the sex. If I were to guess, I would say it is a female, because at one point recently there was no feathers right there, but it could just be a male who molted all of his belly feathers. So because we can't be sure, I'm going to put unknown, because it's not better to guess than to just put down what you actually know. So it doesn't have a cloacal protuberance or a brood patch, which is what it would be if the female had lost all the feathers. We can see just a tiny bit of fat down there, and that is all the measurements that we're taking. So I can pull this guy up for pictures real quick if anybody wants them. And then we're going to let her go. All right.